Welcome back to Cossy Podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is your latest Arsenal news and transfer news. We're going to be diving into the latest around the club. We're going to be talking Kudus. A late bid from Arsenal is expected. One more signing as well to the club is expected in this summer before the 1st of September. We're going to be talking Balogun. Inter Milan have withdrawn from the rest to sign Balogun. The communication has been made to Arsenal and Balo as well. Inter Milan have decided to go and sign Anthony Martial from Manchester United. And of course, we'll be reacting to Moises Caicedo to Liverpool. Arsenal wanted him in January, wanted him in this summer. We didn't get him. Liverpool have got Moises Caicedo for £110 million. Now, let me know in the comment box below, do you think Liverpool are now stronger and better than Arsenal? Does Caicedo make them title favourites than Arsenal? Does it make them much better than us that we must actually be looking at Man City, Liverpool and then Arsenal? Or are we still much better than them? Your thoughts in the comment box below. Hit the like button, 500 likes. Let's get into the video. Now let's start off with Rudy Galletti, who was actually reported on two big stories this early morning. First and foremost, it says that Arsenal are certainly going to be making one more signing in this summer, with Mikel Arteta looking to add at least a midfielder or a winger. Now, Sky Sports have also backed this story. They're saying that Mikel Arteta is still very keen on adding one more player. It looks like it's going to be Bukayo Saka's backup, but also a player who can give us that kind of versatility in midfield and wide areas is being looked at. Now, Mohamed Kudus, I want to say this. Mohamed Kudus is not the only player Arsenal are looking at in that regard. Not really. We are looking at a couple of players. We're looking at a couple of options, but Kudus is on top of the transfer wish list. The problem is that now we are fighting with the Brighton side that have just got £110 million. They can literally offer Kudus the world. But anyway, that is not what we hear. So one more signing for Arsenal is what we are looking at. I'm thinking Kudus, they're links to Barella, they're links to Lautaro Martinez. So it might be a striker, it might be a winger. We're going to see, we're going to be watching this space. And I think the next games, maybe one or two games, Nottingham Forest and the next game after that, are going to determine what actually Mikel Arteta will do in the last final parts of the market. If Arsenal don't score enough goals, but we are creating chances, he might go for a striker. If Arsenal are really lacking in that left eight, I won't be surprised to see Mikel Arteta going for a signing like Nicolo Barella. And still, if Arsenal are not getting that kind of vibe and competition on the Bukayo Saka right-hand side, we might actually go for a right-hand winger. So we're going to see one more signing, but let us wait and see what Mikel Arteta is going to go for. Now, according to Rudy Galletti, still, Arsenal are expected still to make a late bid for Mohamed Kudus. That bid is incoming. It has been in the pipeline for quite some time. Arsenal are still sorting out their finances. They're still looking at themselves, very well in the mirror. We want to be very clear with FFP. We don't want to be in a situation where Juventus have found themselves, or Manchester City or Chelsea, being investigated 10 years later, 5 years later. What we want to do is to make sure that we are signing players that we can actually afford. So Kudus, after Arsenal do all their mathematics and accounting, we might see a late bid later on. Now, according to Rudy Galletti, he says he won't be surprised, and it won't be surprising if Arsenal make a bid for Kudus on deadline day. How I love a deadline day signing. I tell you, if it is Kudus on deadline day, I'm up for it. Let us not sign him now. Let us not sign him next week. Let us sign him on deadline day. I would just love a deadline day signing. But again, like I said, FFP is on our neck. They're breathing through our neck, down our neck. They're saying, if you're going to make these deals, you've got to work within the parameters. You've got to work within the scope that we've actually said. So the boundaries are not as broad as they were 2 or 3 years ago when Arsenal were not spending. In the last 3-4 years, Arsenal have spent about £690 million. That literally means that we cannot go about spending and spending and spending. We have to spend very, very cautiously. But Kudus, let's wait and see. Ajax have said the ultimatum and the deadline has actually passed, so they have taken back the control in this deal. Initially, it was up to Kudus to decide where he wants to go, and Ajax would actually agree a deal. But now Ajax have retained a degree of power in the deal now, so they will decide whether to sell or not to sell anymore. Now, the problem with this deal is this. Ajax have sold a couple of players this summer, and they want to be very sure who's going to be part of the team when they actually start the new season. So they're saying if Kudus is going to be leaving in this summer, we will have to decide on that. And then, of course, that means that Arsenal might have to pay a higher price if the window actually drags on and Ajax decide they are no longer selling for a cheap price. But anyway, we'll wait to see what actually happens out of that. Now, Monaco have actually told Arsenal that they're going to bid again. They will bid again this weekend for Florian Balogun. So Arsenal are bracing themselves. They are, actually scratching their fingers for some money in the bank this weekend. Monaco will bid again for Florian Balogun on Saturday or on Sunday. Now, the problem is that the bidding war is actually going away. Inter Milan have communicated their decision to Florian Balogun and Arsenal that they will be leaving, and they have actually left the transfer race for the player. Now, Inter feel it is wasting time. They feel the deal is actually very expensive, and they have no business negotiating a deal that has actually seen themselves really, really outbid. So they actually value the player at around 35 million euros, or at least I can confirm that is their budget. Monaco have already bid 40 million euros. That is 5 million euros more than Inter Milan's budget. And that has been turned down, and Monaco are going to bid again. So literally, Inter Milan look at themselves and they're saying, there is nothing we're doing on this big stage. There's nothing we're doing here. It is over for us. Now, I really feel sorry for Balogun because he wants Inter Milan. That is where he wants to go. And for me, it would be a much better deal for him to go and play alongside Lautaro Martinez, to play alongside one of the best strikers in the Italian Serie A, one of the best strikers in world football right now. It would actually boost his development. But the structure of the deal and the amount of money included is not favorable for Arsenal. Arsenal think they have a prize in Balogun. They think anyone is going to be paying huge amounts of money for Florian Balogun. And you know what? I absolutely agree. So Monaco and West Ham are now in the race, with Rudy Galletti again reporting that West Ham are now on the verge of sending their first official offer to Arsenal. I really pray that they start from 40 and above. I don't want to listen to offers from West Ham starting with 30 million, 28 million. Premier League sites and how they can do ridiculous offers, including Arsenal, of course. But, of course, the competition is there. West Ham, Monaco, they will be throwing punches. Monaco have already sent a huge punch that has actually blown Inter Milan out of the water, 40 million. But it will depend on what West Ham are going to offer. What if they offer us 60 million? They're looking for replacement for Gianluca Scamacca. They're also looking for a formidable striker. I think Balogun is a starter at West Ham. I think he's the best striker they would have if actually he signed for them. I don't see any other player that would actually beat Balogun in that sense. The one thing that hurts me is that Inter Milan have taken away the chance to swap Nicolo Barella. That is the only one thing that actually hurts me, because Arsenal were considering options. If you cannot give us the millions we want, how about we give you Balogun, you give us Nicolo Barella, and we can actually negotiate how much money we can actually top up. That was a very good deal. That would have been a very, very good deal. Like, in our favor, in Arsenal's favor, not in Inter Milan's favor, but in Arsenal's favor. Would be getting a top-class midfielder, one of the best in the world. Would be getting a player that literally energizes the side and replicates what Odegaard gives us, and it would be in a swap deal. After that point, I wouldn't really care if Balogun goes on to become one of the best strikers in the world. I wouldn't really care if Balogun becomes Ronaldo. I wouldn't really care, because for me, Barella complements this Arsenal side like you couldn't imagine. There is trouble in town after Arsenal getting a breather from Tottenham because they have sold Harry Kane, and that means that no Harry Kane in the North London derbies. We have a problem. Liverpool have just signed Moises Caicedo, and I wanted to have my thoughts on this one because it's a story that really makes me very uncomfortable. Liverpool have signed Dominic Szoboszlai, Alexis McAllister, and Caicedo. They have just spent 215 million on their midfield. Arsenal have just spent 208 million this summer. They have just spent 215 million pounds on their midfield. That is scary. That is a better Liverpool. That is a much better Liverpool. But does it make them title contenders? I think Caicedo's not had a preseason with Liverpool, so he might need some time to, catch up. Szoboszlai and McAllister, those ones have had a preseason, so I expect them to be all right. I think Liverpool will be all right. Their defense is a little bit shaky, and I don't think they've signed players that really guarantee them a lot of defensive ability and a lot of, ball playing, keeping the ball a lot of the time. So I think Liverpool will come third. I don't think they're already above Arsenal, but that shows you the level of competitiveness in the league, right? Imagine Chelsea go and pull off a deal like Joao Palhinha. Imagine Chelsea go and pull off a deal. West Ham have signed Edson Alvarez, make no mistake. Now, what if Chelsea signed Sofian Amrabat? So this league, this campaign, we've got to watch out. It's going to be the campaign of all campaigns. I'll see you right in the next one. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'm launching your predictions and your match reactions. All you have to do is record a video of yourself predicting the game. And also after the game, record yourself giving me your match reaction. And then I will put that video on the channel. Let me know what you think about that. And I'll speak to you right in the next one.